Just over a year ago, I released a game on Steam, and it sold over 900 copies. The game was called Grub Truck, and it was a concept that I made whilst I was in my final year at university. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I didn't quite anticipate how difficult it would be making this one thing that nearly destroyed the whole project. Although I didn't go into it with a particular business plan, my overall plan for Grub Truck was to see if it was something that I would truly enjoy to do as a business plan going forwards. Like most of you, I've played games my whole life, and I've got a mixture of a creative and a technical brain, so I felt like game development was the perfect playground to take full advantage of both my interests and what I enjoy, as well as my actual abilities as well. In order for me to know if it is a viable option for me to go down, I needed to know that I could sell at least 150 copies of a game, of which now I've well surpassed, thankfully. And when I was initially creating the game, I went into it with the idea that I wasn't going to create a perfect commercial game. I was just creating something to see if I could actually make the game. But as I delved further into the development cycle, I realised how important the art style actually is to the game. And so it turns out I am not artistic whatsoever. I mean, just take a look at this. This is the original characters for the game. I mean, what the hell? At the time, it didn't feel like they were that bad, because I was going into it with the idea that I'm just creating a small little indie game just to see if the actual project works, not worrying too much about the look of it and the commerciality of it. Just generally that the art style doesn't matter. Well, I was wrong. It didn't matter what I did, the characters just looked rubbish. I mean, they really do just look like a Roblox character that a 5-year-old's created. I guess they have some kind of charm, but like, not for a commercial title. Maybe for like a little project on the side. What made this problem even more annoying and frustrating was that I didn't really know anyone that could do modelling. I have a couple of friends who have maybe dabbled in Blender a bit, but I needed someone that could like actually fully make me a whole range of products within a relatively tight budget, if any, and a very tight deadline. And what's even worse is I knew that even if I spent hours and hours teaching myself how to do it, maybe going to like a course to learn how to do 3D modelling, I knew that I just wouldn't get any better. I mean, maybe I might know the tips and tricks, but I feel like my artistic skill just isn't there. That being said, I guess now I can create 3D models a little bit better, but definitely not characters. To add on top of the issue, I actually, for some reason, decided to create a whole system that the player could create their own textures for the characters and like modify the character. Not only did this take me absolutely ages, it was just a complete waste of time and effort and resources, because no matter what texture you put on, even if it was like a super high resolution or a really nice cartoony texture, at the end of the day the character's still the same character. The 3D model was the core of it. I mean, look at this masterpiece. Definitely didn't take me 40 hours of work at least. Here was a solution: introducing asset packs. The asset store is this wonderful place where all of your problems seem to disappear, as well as your money in your bank account. That also disappears, but in general, it's a nice place. Jokes aside, this was an absolute game changer. I know I've said this before, but trust me, without the asset packs, I don't think it would have had the success it did. Again, don't get me wrong, I'm not a millionaire. I've not become like the next big game developer or game studio. I've still got a day job, but I have earned a lot more than I thought I would earn in terms of game sales. And I think, yes, there are a lot of code and systems that I've made, a lot of game design choices, a lot of marketing efforts, but without the art style, I think that does kind of hold it all together. It's essentially the glue that holds all the kind of parts together. I tried to stay clear of the whole asset store stereotype of,
oh, it's another low poly game that uses that one asset pack.
I know I kind of fell win for that in the end, but I tried to stay clear of that in the first place. But then I realised that the only people that are actually going to kind of judge you for that are going to be other game developers or people who have way too much spare time on their hand. So at the end of the day, like, as long as the majority are actually enjoying that product, and so far they are. I mean, if you look at the Steam page, there's only one review where it actually comments on the use of an asset pack. By the way, if you have Grub Truck, please go and leave a review. So far, it's been such a tiny little part of the problem that it's not really worth bothering about. I mean, the amount of time and effort and professionalism that I saved by using asset packs just outweighs any kind of issue that's come so far by a ton. From that day onwards, I have spent silly amounts of money on the asset store, like buying packs of 10,000 objects to use that one basket that you probably don't even notice in the background of a scene in a Grub Truck DLC. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe not the best financial decisions, but financial decisions aside, it has definitely been the best investment that I've made so far, both financially and in terms of like giving myself time to work on what I'm actually good at. Without asset packs, the game wouldn't necessarily have a variety of decent high quality characters. It wouldn't have multiple locations. It wouldn't have a decent map screen. Like, there's lots of things that without these asset packs, the game either wouldn't have at all, or if it did have it, it would look pretty shocking. I mean, even some of like the UI images and like the buttons are from these asset packs I've bought. And just even those things alone make the game feel more uniform because you're using the same art style as what the 3D world is using. And as a non-artistic person, that's crazy. If I was able to do that without asset packs, I don't even know what that would mean. Going forward, I would definitely not shy away from asset packs. That being said, I'm not going to purely rely on them. I will be creating my own assets. I mean, for my next game where you run a shop in a train station, a lot of the assets I've made myself, but things like buildings, some furniture items and characters, they're from asset packs. Some that are actually from asset packs that were used in Grub Truck. The characters are the new asset packs, but I'll definitely be looking for more like niche and maybe less saturated asset packs going forward. I do want to have a bit more of a unique look to my games, and I think that that's where I'm going to go forwards. Again, if I had like loads of investment, then don't get me wrong, I would like pay someone to make specialized art for me, but it's not the case. So I go into asset packs. So not only does it save me a huge amount of time so I can focus on what I'm actually good at, I can also save your eyes from pain. So when you look at that Steam page, you don't look at it and go, oh my God, what is this? Get it off my screen. You actually go, oh, that's cool. Let me look at like what you actually do. I genuinely believe that without the asset packs, the game would have sold probably even less than 50% of what it actually ended up selling. I think that the art style that's in the game, makes the game a lot more fun and more visually appealing, but it even helps the Steam page, right? As a customer, if you're going to visit that Steam page and you see these shitty characters, like you're not going to wishlist that, and you're certainly not going to spend your hard-earned money to buy it unless like you're a huge indie fan and want to support small businesses. But like that niche is so small that I think that it wouldn't have sold. I don't even think I would have reached my 150 target. I think that having that low poly asset pack be in the screenshots of the game and obviously in the game itself helped 169% nice of like the customer attraction to that Steam page and why people would wishlist it. So yeah, Grub Truck went from this scrappy little project that really was just like an indie university bedroom project to selling over 900 copies today, and it's still ticking over today. If you want to see for yourself how Grub Truck actually turned out, you can check it out on Steam. Although you can't see it, but it's behind me on this screen. It's a very poor camera layout for me, but it is behind me. You can check it out on Steam. It is, as of this video, it's 20% off in the autumn sale. By the time you see this, it might obviously not be in a sale, but definitely go check it out. I think it's 100% worth your time, and let me know. Leave a review as well, so I know what I can improve going forwards and what you actually enjoyed. If you enjoyed this breakdown of my game, then do let me know in the comments as to what you'd like to see next, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.